Hello, fellow Aussians! We are just about 100 days away from the release of Wicked for Good, and today I wanted to do a bit of a reaction and a ranking of some of the new merchandise that's being released for the upcoming movie. Before we get started, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my experience with Wicked. It was one of the first shows I saw that got me into musical theater back in 2006, and since then I've seen the show around 23 times. I started to lose count. A lot of the times I saw the show were thanks to the Wicked lottery. When I was living in New York, I even had the opportunity to work at the Gershwin Theater where Wicked plays, and I sold merchandise for the show, which was definitely an interesting experience. So you could say I'm very familiar with Wicked merch, and I'm a collector myself, as you can see by some of the things around me. I loved The Wizard of Oz growing up, and Wicked is truly one of those shows that got me hooked on musical theater and made me a lifelong theater fan. I was a little skeptical when casting for the movie was first announced, but I absolutely loved part one. I saw it in theaters about 5 times and completely fell in love with it. When the movie came out last year, my friends and family obviously know that I am obsessed with Wicked, and so I got a lot of great birthday and Christmas presents with merchandise from the show, like karaoke machine, pillows, you name it. When the dolls were released and it became known that they had that misprint, if you know, you know, I had my best friend run out and buy me some right away. Had to add those to my collection. So let's dive into it. I thought up a ranking system that's themed to the movie. So there's 3 tiers. Things in the top tier that I absolutely love are going to defy gravity. Some of the okay things that are in the middle, they're not that girl. And at the bottom of the tier, we're gonna say those are something bad. Now, the list of merchandise that I've compiled are from a few different press releases and roundup articles. It's definitely not comprehensive, just a selection of items that I wanted to focus on. I've tried to research the price wherever possible, although some of these are pre-orders and the pricing could change or might be inaccurate until the items come out. Awesome, now that we have the ranking system out of the way, let's get started. I'm going to begin with some of the Mattel items since I have the deluxe Elphaba and Glinda dolls from the first movie. First up, we have the deluxe Elphaba doll. This retails for around $43. I think this is absolutely stunning. I really love all the details with her hair and her hat. They look great. The kind of tattered look with her cape that's a little translucent looks really nice, and I love that she's holding the Grimoire. That's a really great accessory for this doll. For me, this totally defies gravity. Moving on to the deluxe Glinda doll for Good. Just like Elphaba, she retails for around $43. This particular doll is in her blue dress. I know there's been a lot of opinions on the internet whether people like the pink or the blue purplish dress better. For me, I was always on team blue dress. I love that it's reminiscent of the Broadway costume. And to be honest, when photos of the pink dress first came out, I always thought it kind of looked like folded up ham or prosciutto. It grew on me, but that's just my opinion. I think Mattel did a fantastic job evoking the new blue purplish dress with this doll. The details on the gown look really nice with this shimmering, swirling pattern. So for me, this is probably going to be a must purchase to go with my other dolls, and I think the deluxe Glinda defies gravity, just like Elphaba. There is another Glinda doll for the For Good lineup from Mattel. And this one comes in a different box that says Best Witch of them all. I'm not really sure at what point in the story this costume shows up, but I'm not crazy about it. There's some nice details with the construction of the costume. but it's kind of monochromatic and falls a little flat for me. The Mattel website lists it as retailing for $81, which I must assume is a mistake because I'm not sure why this would be almost double the other dolls. There's nothing that really strikes me as special about it. Of course, I like her wand and I like the butterfly necklace detail, but again, I think I'm just not really a fan of this costume in general, and so for me, this is not that girl. I'm not that girl. Next up is the Wizard doll. He retails for around $27 according to the Mattel website, and I'm really into this. I think it's a great likeness of Jeff Goldblum, and I really like the details on the outfit. The jacket looks like it has these really pretty poppy details, and around the torso there's some great gold chains across and some paisley patterns. Just looks really nice and packed with detail. That being said, the Wizard's not a great favorite character of mine, so for me, this doll is ranked in the not that girl category. I'm not that girl. Moving right along the yellow brick road, we got a surprise and we have a Dorothy doll. This is listed at around $27, and I, for one, am very pleased that this doll came out. I'm taking it as confirmation that we get to see Dorothy's face in the movie, unlike the stage show. I love that she comes with her basket and a little Toto figure. This might be worth buying for me solely for the fact that she's wearing the silver shoes. And really, how many Dorothy dolls out there have the silver shoes like in the original L. Frank Baum novel? It's a really nice looking doll, although of course we don't know who the actress is in Wicked for Good, so I can't really comment on the likeness, but immediately when you look at this doll, you know it's Dorothy, the classic blue and white gingham dress, the basket, Toto. It's really nice, and for me, I think this doll defies gravity. That's it for the Mattel dolls, but Mattel has some other toys that I'd like to discuss. First of which is this Oz story set of these minifigures. This set of minifigures has Dorothy, Glinda, the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion. I was excited when I saw photos of this for the first time because it's kind of like a first look for me to see what the Scarecrow and Tin Man look like in Wicked for Good. I think these are really cute. I love the little accessories like the wand and the basket and the axe and the little flower with the Scarecrow. The detail on the Tin Man is nice. It kind of elevates it from the design that we're familiar with in the 1939 movie. I'm not sure I love how the Scarecrow looks. His hat almost looks like tree bark. I think it's the hat that's throwing things off for me. I like the rest of his outfit, and I can definitely see the inspiration they're taking from, if you know what I mean, fans of the stage show. The Cowardly Lion is really adorable. This supposedly retails for $39.99. I think that's a little steep for these little figurines, but at the same time, it's really cute. I could see a child having a lot of fun with these. For me, I wouldn't necessarily buy it because I'm not really into minifigures, so this is gonna get a not that girl from me. I'm not that girl. Next is the Glinda's floating bubble figure. I like that we get a version of Glinda in the pink dress with these minifigures, and I mean, her bubble is so magical. From the photos, it looks like there's a feature where you could push down on the bubble and watch Glinda twirl and wave, which is really cute. This retails for $14.99, which I think is probably a good price since you get the bubble along with the figurine. I like this a lot. For me, this defies gravity. Mattel has also made these Ozian surprise balloon minifigures. I like the concept of the blind box. It kind of reminds me of the whole Labubu trend that's going on right now. As far as the figures go, it looks like there's Elphaba, Fiero, the Wizard, Madame Morrible, and Glinda. These retail for $9.99. Although I like the surprise element with these, I could definitely see children being disappointed if they're really hoping for Elphaba or Glinda and they end up getting the Wizard. I don't know if I really understand the theming with the hot air balloons unless they've added more balloons in part 2, but why would all these characters have their own hot air balloon? I think it's a little strange. And for me, this is probably not that girl. I'm not that girl. Here we have the Students of Shiz minifigures. I think these are so cute. I like that we get to see Bach and Nessa. The accessories are really cute with the flower and the book and so forth. And of course the Shiz uniforms are kind of iconic at this point. This goes for $24.99, which I think is a better price point for these figurines, honestly. Even so, this is middle of the road for me, so it's gonna get a not that girl. I'm not that girl. This is the So Popular Dorm playset. The popular sequence of the first movie is such a fun moment, and I love that this playset has some interactive elements with Glinda's bed folding down and the ability to have her swing from the chandelier, just like in Popular. You can also have Glinda stand out on the balcony, which is pretty cool. This goes for $26.99, which feels right to me. I like this one a lot. This defies gravity. This next one is Glinda's Glamorous Closet for $32. It comes with 2 outfits and lots of little shoes. I really like that the closet folds up to look like her stack of trunks. That's really clever. And these outfits are, you know, full size for the big dolls, not the minifigures. I think the price is great. I don't really, you know, play dress up with dolls. My dolls stay in the boxes. So this is kind of middle of the road. Not that girl. I'm not that girl. This is the Emerald City playset. Of all the minifigures and their playsets, I think this one is the most impressive. There are fun surprises like spinning a wheel to reveal the wizard. There's another area where you can set up your phone and have Elphaba and Glinda watch content. I guess it's supposed to be like when they see Wizomania. There's a bunch of little accessories. It just seems like a fun time. This one's $43, and in my book, it defies gravity. The last Mattel set that we're going to talk about is this Elphaba dessert cart one. And to me, this one's really puzzling. I don't get it at all. Maybe this is a small moment in the One Short Day sequence that I missed, but I don't really remember them going for dessert. I can see why, you know, little girls and boys might like this playset, but to me, like, thematically, it doesn't really fit. Glinda seems like a better fit if we're gonna do the dessert angle. It's cute. I like the design of the cart, and I like the little cupcakes and things. And it's only $16, but for me, the theming is kind of weird, and I think, unfortunately, this one gets something bad. Now that we've gone through most, if not all, of the new Mattel offerings, I'm going to pivot and talk about the Legos. Some of these are really cool looking. I haven't bought any Legos in a long time, and I'm honestly kind of shocked at how expensive a lot of these are, but I guess since they're so interactive with you having to build them yourself, it kind of makes sense with all the pieces. This first one is the Emerald City and Kiamako Castle. I think this is so impressive. I love how detailed both of these are. The gold details on the Emerald City look really beautiful. I'm glad it's not just a bunch of green, monochromatic. I think it's great that besides Elphaba and Glinda, there's also a flying monkey and a rainbow that you can build. Those are some nice additions, nice touches. What's also great about the Emerald City and Kiamako playset is that both of these open up and reveal different interactive areas. Like there's Glinda's bedroom, there's a map room. This is also kind of a spoiler, which I think is funny for a Lego playset. but there's even a secret passageway for Elphaba that's pivotal to both the film and the stage show. This reminds me a lot of the Polly Pocket Wizard of Oz set that I had as a child. There was a trapdoor element where you could make the Wicked Witch melt. This sells for $79.99, which is pretty steep, but with all that you get with the 2 different areas and all the hidden surprises, I think this defies gravity. This next one is Elphaba and Glinda Visit Munchkinland. I think this is so cute. I love the look of the house. This one is $69.99, which is only $10 less than the Emerald City and Kiamako set. It seems a little steep compared to that one, but you get 3 figures. I am kind of guessing that the Munchkin figure might be Bach, based on what I know of the story and why Glinda and Elphaba end up in Munchkinland. I love that there's a yellow brick road. I think it's super cool that Glinda can come in her bubble and you can float her around the set. The inside of the house also has some cute details. There's a kitchen area. There's an upstairs, which looks like it has some bookshelves. There's even one of those anti-Wicked Witch posters hanging on the outside of the house, which I think is a great detail from the film. Do I think this is worth $70? Probably not. There doesn't look like there's a lot of interactive elements inside, so this one gets a not that girl from me. I'm not that girl. This stunning set is the Emerald City wall art, and it really does look more like a piece of art than a Lego set. I love it. I think the details are beautiful. All the colors, it's really a Technicolor wonder. I love that it comes with figures of Dorothy and her friends, and both Glinda, she has her bubble, and Elphaba is flying above the Emerald City. So the theming is just really great. $160 for Lego art that's only like a foot tall. Pretty steep. I don't know if I would personally buy this, and I'd kind of be afraid to hang it somewhere because if that hits the ground, it's gonna shatter and all the pieces are gonna fly everywhere. But even so, I really like the look of this. It's beautiful, and I'm gonna give it a defies gravity. These Glinda and Elphaba bookends are pretty cute. Pink goes good with green, of course. It's nice that you get all these figures to go with it. You have the Wizard, Madame Morrible, Glinda, Elphaba, Fiero. Randomly, it looks like Fanny, Bone Yang's character. Love Bone Yang, he was so funny in the first one, but I think that's an interesting choice for this set. The more I look at this, the more I appreciate some of the details that they've hidden. Looks like you can see the Emerald City train, you can see the green elixir bottle, there's compartments to store the minifigures, you have the Grimmery, you have Glinda's butterfly motif. It's pretty blocky looking, no pun intended, with the Lego thing. As far as practicality goes as actual bookends, I don't know how much weight these could support. If a book were to tip over and these bookends were to fall off the bookshelf and smash, that would be great. This probably takes a long time to piece together. It also costs $129.99, which again is pretty expensive in my opinion. I love the look of them, personally wouldn't buy them, so this is not that girl from me. I'm not that girl. Here we have Glinda's Wedding Day. This is interesting. It's cool that you have Glinda in her wedding dress in this set. I think it's so funny that some of these Lego sets have spoilers for the movie. Even for me, I'm surprised, and I've seen the stage show 23 times. The set has her wedding cake that you can build, and it also has all of these animal figures, and that's supposed to relate to a scene in the movie where apparently animals crash Glinda's wedding and cause a big commotion. You can actually switch the expression on the Glinda minifigure's face from one of, you know, happiness to concern. It looks like this takes place somewhere in the Emerald City. It's got these huge butterflies, which visually is cool for this set. I know in the trailer for the new movie, when Glinda walks out with her wedding dress, there's a bunch of butterflies flying around, and that's been a motif in her costumes since the first movie. This one is $39.99, which actually seems reasonable to me. Compared to some of the other sets though, it is pretty limited in what you can do and build, and I don't really love the overall design. I feel like it could use some more elements. So for me, this one might actually be something bad. This final Lego set is called Elphaba's Retreat. I love that you have Fiero holding the lantern. That reminds me so much of the stage show during As Long As You're Mine. So I wonder if this is the equivalent scene from the movie. There's a lot of nice little details in this set with, it looks like, some steam or maybe some of Elphaba's magic as she's working on a spell. I love that you have the little friendly animal figures, super cute. There's Elphaba's grimoire and some carrots that you can feed the animals. This one is actually the cheapest at $27.99, but I think the theming and all of the little accessories really come together. My one critique is maybe Elphaba's face. She has kind of a strange expression. I think this one defies gravity. Moving right along, there are some Care Bears. There's going to be more coming out, but right now we just have this 2-pack for $29.99, these 14-inch Elphaba and Glinda ones. I've never really been into Care Bears, but I do like the theming with these. You can recognize who's who right away, both with the colors, but also the crown and the hat. So I would say this is middle tier, not that girl. I'm not that girl. On a similar note, it looks like we're getting new Squishmallows for the second movie. I love Elphaba and Glinda's main costumes for part 2. Elphaba's, you know, fully developed Wicked Witch outfit and Glinda's blue purplish dress. They look really nice. I like how they're represented here with the Squishmallows. I also think the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion look really cute in Squishmallow form. I'm not exactly sure what the Squishmallows are going to cost, but typically I think they're around $18 to $20 a piece. For me, I like how these look. They're gonna be super comfy, cozy. I think they defy gravity. There are some brand new Funko Pops for the second movie. Now, Funko Pops, I used to collect a lot of them, and I'm pretty sure they used to cost around $10 each, but that was like 10 years ago. I think all of these Funkos are $15 for Wicked, which seems steep for what these actually are, but the designs are cute. I actually have the original set of Wizard of Oz Funkos. They released a new set recently for the 85th anniversary. I don't have those because they're, you know, pretty similar to the original ones, but I might have to get these new Wicked for Good ones to complement the Wizard of Oz ones that I already have. First, we have Elphaba, and I think this is so cool. Again, I love her main outfit for part 2. I think the details on the hat and the dress are really nice, and I love the way that her hair is flowing in the breeze. Looks very dynamic, and it's a good sculpt. This Elphaba Funko definitely defies gravity. There's also supposed to be a glitter variant for this Elphaba figure, which, I don't know, I guess kind of works because she can do magic, but I feel like of the two, if I would do a glitter variant, it would be of Glinda. Speaking of Glinda, we have her in her blue dress, and I think this looks really nice. Again, it would be a cool glitter variant. The swirls on the dress are very pretty, and I like the wand. I don't love this one as much as the Elphaba one, but of course, if I were to get Elphaba, I would need Glinda to make the set. Glinda in her blue dress. This one I'm a little bit on the fence, but I'll give it the edge and say that she also defies gravity. They also have Glinda in her wedding outfit. I think it's cool that we get another version of the character. The dress itself is just fine, but I like some of the other aspects of this Funko, like her butterfly tiara and that train in the back. Also, I like how her hair looks. Glinda in the wedding dress is just so-so for me. I would say that this is Not That Girl, which I think might be literally the song that she sings while she's wearing this. I'm not that girl. Next up is Dorothy. I think it's great that we get another version of Dorothy. I think it would be worth owning for me as a collector just because she's wearing her silver shoes, which, you know, is not typical with all the other versions of Dorothy that we have. I like how this one looks a lot with the gingham dress and the silver shoes. It's nice that they have the basket, but I wish they would have gone an extra step and put Toto in the basket. But knowing Funko, I'm sure they're going to release some kind of variant or 2-pack that includes Toto and charge too much money for it. I would say this one defies gravity. The Scarecrow Funko is pretty good. It's alright. Again, you get some of that tree bark texture with his hat, which I think is a different approach from how we're used to seeing the character. The details on his outfit look nice. You can tell right away who it's supposed to be, but it's just kind of middle of the road for me, so not that girl. I'm not that girl. The Cowardly Lion looks awesome. I love the expression on his face. You could definitely tell that he is a big scaredy cat. This looks like it actually might be flocked, which with Funko Pops is when they're fuzzy. So I think that totally works for the lion. I would guess that if it is flocked, it's gonna cost more than $15 like the other ones. It also looks like this might be bigger than the normal Funkos since he's, you know, on all fours and not upright. To me, this one is really great. I love it a lot. It defies gravity. This Tin Man Funko Pop is okay. I like that you can see all the details on his suit, which I think come from the costume design of another character that, if you know Wicked and you know spoilers, you'll know what I'm talking about. As far as the head goes, it literally looks like they just took the same Tin Man head from the Wizard of Oz set. I'm sure there's some subtle difference that I'm not picking up on right now, but it just looks okay. I would say this is not that girl. I'm not that girl. Now that we've gone through all the toys, I want to wrap up this video by spotlighting some products from Insight Editions, which puts out various, you know, paper goods and books. The first one I'd like to discuss is this beautiful tarot deck. I really love this art style. It's very whimsical and magical and definitely matches the aesthetic of Wicked. I think that having a tarot deck is so cool considering it's such a magical story with witches. There aren't a lot of pictures of the cards in this deck. I do believe this is a full tarot deck, but what I do see looks really stunning. The illustrations are just so dynamic. You can see Glinda as the star. I love the perspective with her and her wand and all of these bubbles coming out at the frame. Alphabuzz is cool as well. She's positioned in this great pose on her broom with the Emerald City in the background. Just looks really well done and thought out with the artwork. It costs $27.99, which I don't think is that bad for a really nice illustrated tarot deck. I hope the, you know, quality of the paper for the cards is good to match this price point. For me, this defies gravity. This is really cool, in my opinion. Next up, we have a premium advent calendar. This advent calendar has a lot of little goodies like a mini salt and pepper shaker, a magnet, a pin, a paperweight. So I think that is, you know, above and beyond what you typically get around the holidays with advent calendars. Usually it's, you know, candy and chocolate. So in that regard, I think it's a step above. But the materials, I'm not really clear what this box is made out of. If it's wood, I think it would justify the $125 price, but if this is just cardboard, I don't really think it's worth that much. So for me, right now, with the information that I know, I would give this a not that girl.
I'm not that girl.
This next one is an embroidered journal. It costs $24.99. It actually does have cloth on the covers. It's a hardcover. I really like the slogan, "You say wicked like it's a bad thing." The design is pretty cool. It doesn't scream Wicked the musical or the movie to me with the, mushrooms and plants. I think maybe this could be a quote in the movie, maybe when Fiyero comes to see Alphaba in her forest retreat. So that might be why the theming is the way that it is. But it looks really nice, and the inside of the journal is lined paper. So I think this is worth the price point, and I would say this defies gravity. I could see myself enjoying writing in this journal. Next up, also from Insight Editions, is this stationery set. This costs $45, and I think it's totally worth it. You get a lot with this. There's, different sheets of paper and envelopes. There's these really clever postcards with different locations from Oz. There's stickers to use and a pen. Just lots of goodies. I love the aesthetic and how they've designed these paper pieces. And I think, for all that you get, $45 is pretty good. Stationery can be very expensive, so I like this a lot. And this one defies gravity. Next, we have the For Good illustrated lyric book. This is $18.99. It is literally just the lyrics for the song For Good. I don't know, I love the art style for this, especially on the cover. I'm really not digging the design with that kind of ugly gradient on the front, but the images that we have of the inside of the book, the illustrations look a little better and more magical, but I don't know. I'm not sold, and since it is just one song and not the entire story of the second movie, I don't know if this is worth $18.99. For me, I'm not vibing with the art style, so unfortunately, this one is gonna get a something bad from me. This one is the ultimate pop-up book, different from the Story of the Wizard pop-up book that was released from the first movie. That one was supposed to be like a replica of the pop-up book that Alphaba shows Nessa in part 1, but I think this new pop-up book is going to cover more of the actual story of the film. This features illustrations by Rui Ricardo, and the pop-up designs are by Matthew Reinhardt, who is well known for his beautiful pop-up books. I found an image of the cover of this book on Twitter, but on all of the official retail pages on Insight Editions and Barnes & Noble and Simon & Schuster, they don't have this cover anymore. So I wonder if there's something going on with the artwork right now that they're not ready to share, and there's no photos of the actual designs for the pop-ups themselves. I'm optimistic though. I googled some pictures of Matthew Reinhardt's other work, and it looks really magical. He does, stuff for Harry Potter and different fairy tales, so I think it's going to be a good fit. And I personally love pop-up books. If they stick the landing with this one, I could definitely see myself purchasing it. I grew up with this really beautiful Wizard of Oz pop-up book that I think was by the artist Robert Seguda. So I can't really give this one a rating right now without any photos, but I'm looking forward to it. That's the end of my rankings. I hope you enjoyed seeing a preview of this merchandise that's coming out. We only have about 3 months to go until the second movie, which is kind of crazy to me because it feels like the first one just came out. As a Wicked super fan, I'm thrillified to see all of this new merchandise. Even if I don't personally buy a lot of it, I'm just so happy that it's out there and more people are being exposed to Wicked. So what do you think? How would you rate some of these items? Do these defy gravity for you, or are the majority something bad? I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. Let me know which items are your favorite, which ones you don't care for, and subscribe to see more coverage of Wicked for Good during the months leading up to the movie. And you can bet that I will post a review of that film once it comes out. I'm Julian, this is Julian's Front Row Theater, and thank you for watching.